Hey there crew, it's Mark from MENWHOBULLET. Thanks for coming to hang out again for our weekly Plan With Me series. This week is going to be awesome. Halloween and this whole entire October season has me feeling super creative, so we're gonna have a ton of fun today. This is how we set up our videos. If you're new here, the first part of this video is going to be all about a minimalist layout. So we're going just to focus really much on a functional layout. I'm gonna leave some extra spaces open for the twist, and in the twist, that's where we're gonna add some fun things this week. We have ink, we have stickers, we have Acrylograph paint pens. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and kick into the minimalist part setup. As we get started, let's talk about our materials that we're going to be using for the minimalist setup. First things first, have to figure out a good pen and pencil to use. And if you're looking for both, this Monteverde USA Quadro is fantastic for that. Loving this pen for a few different reasons. One, because it is a pencil, which is fantastic. And it's also a black pen, a red pen, and a blue pen. All four of those things are inside of this. And you know what? I love it for that. So we're going to be using this today. I also have a Unipin fine liner. We're going to be using a 0.7 millimeter for today. And then also have my eraser here for us so we can erase those pencil lines later. B5 Archer and Olive notebook. And then also have my Rocketbook here because this is what we're going to be using to talk about the layout for this minimalist setup for this entire week. I've gone ahead and kind of figured everything out for us. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be doing. In my B5 size Archer and Olive, I have 32 squares across and 46 squares top to bottom. If you are in a smaller notebook or planner, you will have to adjust these measurements a little bit, but hopefully you have a cheat sheet or something in the back of your journal that you can use to size these out correctly. So the way that I'm setting this up this week is going to be a double page spread. I just made this nice and big this week versus my usual little sketches because I've worked ahead a little bit. For this week, I'm going to be setting up a double page spread, a lot of focus on the left-hand side where we're going to be setting up kind of a weekly overview. And then the right-hand side for me is going to be for tasks and notes. And I'll tell you why I'm doing that in just a second. Right now for this side, what we're going to be doing is setting up a 2-column grid. So we're going to have 15 squares across, 2 in between, and then another 15. That'll set up 2 equal side columns for us. Then what I'm going to do is break this down into, it's kind of a 4-row spread, but I'm just altering things a little bit to give me more space for notes. So the easiest way for me to figure out this week was actually starting from the bottom of my page, counting up 12 squares, and then we're going to do that again, 12 squares up, and another 12 squares up. And that's going to meet us over here at that 15 wide. So that's going to give us this whole open space. What I'm going to be using this week, and we'll see that in the twist, is I'm actually going to be using some stickers for my days of the week as well as my dates. But if you don't want to use stickers in your journal, we'll talk about where you can add in your days of the week. And you can also add just a super fast little flag with a number date inside of here. We're going to be doing the same thing over on the right-hand side of this left side page, but we're just going to be flipping it. So we'll be drawing our straight line down and then crossing these over where our flags are going to meet us over here on the left-hand side. If you want, you could absolutely flip this the other way. It's totally up to you. This is just the design that I'm going with this week. Then over on the right-hand page, so this is again going to be a double page spread, I'm focusing on a 3-column layout, but combining my notes section. So what I've done here is I'll have 10 spaces with 2 in between, and then I've just connected these 2 over here. So since I have 32 squares across, 10, we've got 2, which will be 12, 22, 32. That counts it out all here. I'm going to leave probably a little bit of space here at the top so I can write in tasks and notes for these sections and these headers. And I'll be doing the same thing over here on this side. I'll be leaving 10 spaces here at the top. This week, we're going to be doing some real fun lettering with some ink later on. And I also have a little doodle that I want to do for Halloween. So you'll see how that all is going to lay out. So let's go ahead and go back over to our notebook. So to reiterate what we have 12 spaces up for 3 rows where we just mirrored that here, and then another 10 spaces over here on top of that where we'll put our header and our small little doodle later on. Then over on the right hand side, we have an area for tasks, and then we have an area over here for notes, and I've left about 3 spaces over here so I can write in those headers here. The reason that I'm splitting this out, task and notes this week, is because I've had a really hard time reading through my rapid logging. In the bullet journal method, it's all about rapid logging, and you're kind of writing out all of your tasks and your notes for the day, and I'm just having a really hard time kind of pulling out the tasks that I need to get done. I'm the kind of guy that likes a task list, kind of just kind of go down as I'm going throughout the week and figuring those things out. So I'm going to have a whole section just dedicated to tasks this week. And then all of my notes will go over here. It's all in the same space. So I can still rapid log pretty well and then just jot down the tasks that I need to do over here. We'll go ahead and fill in all of our lines for our week now, and then in just a moment talk about where you can put in your headers and dates for the week. If you're sticking with the minimalist layout and you want to continue along with just your one pen, you can easily add in the flags and all of the other titles without going above with stickers or anything else. Over here on the edges of all of your squares, you can draw a real quick flag just by using the lines and the dots that you already have on your page and coming down, and you can write the date right inside of here. And then if you want, you can just write the day of the weeks inside of here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way down. You can do the same thing over here for your titles. You could just title this task and notes over here if you wanted to, and make it really nice and easy. If you want to keep things looking minimal, but also add a little bit of versatility, you can also use much bigger markers to create your headers. So this is a 1.2, which is just a ginormous pen that we have here. So you can use something like that to add a little bit of versatility to your titles. And it looks just a little bit different than using the smaller one, but can add some really cool dimension. We're actually going for a totally different look today. So all of the extra fun and excitement is going to happen right now inside of the twist. This is where we're going to be editing stickers. I've got ink and I've got Archer and Olive acrylographs going on today. All kinds of fun and excitement to take this basic minimalist layout to the next level. Let's get started. Let's first talk about the materials that we're going to be using in the twist today. I'm excited. It looks like a lot of stuff, and it is, but the cool thing is you don't have to use all of it or some of it depending on what you're trying to do. Let's start with our stickers first that we have over here. These are from Archer and Olive, and the way that we're going to be using these are just quickly setting up each day of the week and the dates of the week as well. So we're going to take these stickers, we're going to add them on. So we're going to take these stickers and add them on here along with the dates for the flags. Similar to what we showed in the minimalist layout, we're just going to use a sticker instead of drawing it in ourselves. I also have ink. We're going to be using those for the headers today. We're going to be using this electric patina over here for the October 2022 header. And then we're going to be using Muskrat over here for our task and our notes. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of what those look like, this is the electric patina that's going to be here. It's just a really cool October-y looking color. I love it. And then Muskrat is this really fun, dirty looking color here. And I thought that would go with the overall kind of Halloween, gritty fall theme. I love it. We're going to be using a B3 nib on this dip pen here. So different than the other pointed pens that have the thicks and the thins like you see in a lot of calligraphy, these have a monoline look. So we can draw in cursive if we want to. We can just draw in print however you want to, but it'll be a really nice monoline. We'll look at that in just a minute. If you follow me for a while, you know that I don't usually do a lot of doodles inside of my journal, but just this weekend I was in Home Goods and I saw a pillow that had these really cool looking Halloween characters on it, and I wanted to take that idea and make it my own. So what I have here is a little Frankenstein looking dude that we're going to sketch right up here into this side of our page, and we're going to be using some acrylographs to fill him in. So of course that skin has to be green, so I'm going to be using colors from the Plant-Based Bride collection. This is one that came out a while. I think they are stunning. These are like her colors. She does so good. Elizabeth is amazing. And I'm really excited to finally use these. I don't know that I've actually used these yet. We're also going to be using some silvers. This is from the metallic acrylograph set that we have for his bolts. We'll also be using this for some of the small detail around his head. And then, of course, we're going to have black, and that'll be our outline. That'll be for his eyes, his mouth, his little scars, and then these little deals here that'll kind of look like it's stitched on the page. He's going to have some shoulders as well. I just didn't draw them in here, but it's not going to be anything crazy. It's not even going to be like kind of like a full body. It's kind of boxed in a little bit to fit his boxy head. And we're just going to draw that just right over top of what's here. And for his shirt here, I have steel blue. And this was actually from the Spellbound collection from last year from Archer and Olive. So we'll be using all of those. You know, what's really kind of funny is that I haven't used Archer and Olive acrylographs a whole lot because they've been sitting in a drawer for a really long time for storage. And I was like, you know what? I need to see these things so that I can remember to use them. So I have brought all of them out recently. And I keep saying I'm going to do a studio tour, but I really do feel like I'm ready. I just keep switching things around every week. And I'm like, well, by the time I record it, it's going to look different anyway. We'll go ahead and start with the stickers first. You know, stickers are something that I never really thought I would use inside of my bullet journal. I was always of the mind that like, well, stickers aren't really for me. I'm not really a sticker guy, but all I did was just try them one time. And then it turned out that I am a sticker guy. And as I'm putting these on here, I'm just realizing that my little flags are supposed to go over here for the dates. We're going to just roll with it. I'm going to use the dates. We'll put them over here. And then we're also going to put them over here in this corner. And we'll just be better off than me trying to rip those off of there. That is not going to work out. So we're going to take our little stickers here and we're just going to flag them right over on this line and lay them over here. And I'll go through the rest of the days of the week and get all those on here. All right, so we got all of our stickers on here. So the next thing we need to do is have some fun with these inks. Before we go ahead and write that on there, I do want to show you what this nib looks like. So as I mentioned, this is a B3, so this is going to be a monoline nib. There's a lot of different ones out there, so make sure that when you are looking for different nibs, you know kind of what you're getting yourself into. What I love about these monoline nibs is that they just have just a singular look, so you don't have to worry about thicks and thins and ups and downs and all of that. You can just write normally if you want to, and it has a really cool looking monoline feel to it. You can still write inside with cursive or calligraphy if you want to. It's up to you. But I love it just because it has a totally different look than if you're writing normal calligraphy. One of my favorite parts about Archer and Olive notebooks is that the paper can handle the ink. Not all ink can work inside of these journals. I've definitely had things that work and that don't, but these are from Birmingham Pen Company, and I love these very much, and that's what we're going to be using. So let's go ahead and write out October 2022, and then we'll also be using the Muskrat for the headers for the task and for the notes. So as you saw there, some extra fun with the K and the N. My brain had a little bit of a mishap where it forgot that all of the ink and also water when you're washing your brush gets held inside of the reservoir inside of the calligraphy pen. So after I was going between October and switching over to this color, I have myself my little water container over here that I was clearing out the ink, but the problem is I didn't fully dry the nib, so I was able to put down some color before all of it just kind of was like, here's your K. And then when I dipped it again for the N, you can see it was mostly water, not a lot of ink. I figured it out, went ahead and cleaned it out, got the rest of the colors here, and then I just used a small little itty bitty piece of paper towel and soaked up the extra water that was on the page for the K and the N. I'm gonna really let this dry, and then I'll probably go over it just maybe a little bit with some more color just to make it a bit darker, but we're totally okay right now. One of my favorite parts about doing these Plan With Me's, and I'm not gonna edit that out, I think it's really important because those are learning opportunities, especially if you're not used to using ink. I am not an ink master. I do not use these all the time, but I enjoy adding them into my bullet journals. So learning opportunity, right? So really learning opportunity is all around. And I'm never going to edit out a mistake. I like putting them in here because it's real. That's how things happen here. All right, so now that we have in our headers, if you are just looking to be like, yep, this is it for me, this is totally cool, you don't have to add anything else. In fact, if you wanted to use something other than a doodle on your page, you can certainly use this space for some small trackers or really anything else that you want. Cool stamp. This week, we're not doing any stamps, but instead we're going to be drawing in a cool little character. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and sketch them out, and then I'm going to go ahead and start to use my acrylographs over top of it. I'm really excited. If you haven't used Archer and Olive acrylographs before, these paint pens are great. You shake them up really good, you press them down if they're not activated, and then you'll start to get your colors inside of here. So let's go ahead and start using our colors. Okay, we got a little bit more to dry here, but overall, here's our entire weekly. We have our fun little character here hanging out over on the left-hand side with the date and the days of the week. We have the days of the week and the dates here on each edges of there. And then over here on the right-hand side, we're talking all tasks and all notes over here. So this is where we're going to put a running list of tasks throughout the week, and then we'll do our daily rapid logging throughout this date here. Again, the big focus here is just so I can keep my task in line and just have a checklist to go straight down. That's my goal. So appreciate you hanging out for the twist and the overall video today. If this isn't your deal, you can certainly add in stamps or other doodles or things like that, but I thought this guy was super cute, and he looks awesome in here. I'm a big fan of it. If you love videos like this, especially taking a look at minimalist layout, but also adding some fun inside of your bullet journal, I have an entire playlist of all of the previous episodes of our weekly Plan With Me series that we have. I'll put that up for you just up next. Thanks so much, crew, for hanging out again today, and I'll talk to you soon. Happy planning.